Was that a bidet they put the wine bottle in? So last Saturday, I went to go see The Phoenician Scheme, starring Benicio del Toro, directed by Wes Anderson. He also did the screenplay. I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan. I know he's got a very distinctive style, and I have seen some of his things. I haven't really outright hated the stuff of his that I've seen, but have not naturally gravitated toward it. However, I did list The Phoenician Scheme on my most anticipated for the year, and it was because the premise seemed interesting, and it has Benicio del Toro in it. Now, I have liked Benicio ever since I saw him in a made-for-TV movie a long, long time ago in which he played Carlo Quintero, the drug guy who was involved in the killing of Kiki Camarena, whatever. Anyway, he made an impression on me. I never forgot this guy. So I've kind of just followed his acting career since then for decades. And he did not disappoint in this movie. I'm going to just get this right out of the way. I enjoyed this film. I do not know if it will end up on my top 10 of the year or, you know, my favorites list. Sometimes it's more than 10. Just because while it was enjoyable, it really doesn't feel like there's a ton of depth in Wes Anderson stories. I'm not saying that to be flippant because they are entertaining. They're darkly comedic in a lot of ways, but they don't necessarily have something that's got that very strong emotional reaction for me, you know, besides just laughing, because this film I thought was hilarious. Okay, that was a long-winded intro. Let me just talk a bit about the synopsis of this film and then go over the pros and any cons I have, which honestly there aren't a ton, probably not even any. But the basic premise is there is a wealthy businessman. His name is Jaja Corda, and there have been multiple attempts on his life. The movie opens up with an attempt on his life. If you've seen the trailers, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but it does show him in a plane crash. He's been in a lot of plane crashes, y'all. Oh my goodness. And it has this shocking opening. I mean, there's a death that occurs in the first few moments. It's a violent death. It's nastical, but the way it happens, I don't know, it made me laugh. Okay, y'all, I laughed. It was a gruesome death and I laughed. And I think that was the point. I don't think there's anything terribly wrong with me. I was not the only one laughing at terribly violent things that happened to people in this movie. It was just the way it's presented. You have to watch it to know what the heck I'm talking about. So he's in this crash, he survives, and he decides that he wants to make his daughter, who happens to be a nun, she's his firstborn, he wants to make her his sole heir. Because he's got this grand business plan. This is the scheme, the Phoenician scheme, that he wants to carry out before something should happen to him. The dialogue in this film is really funny. He refers to, before I get killed again or something like that. It was just, I don't know. Wes Anderson, typical Wes Anderson. So he drags her along with him on these different trips to various places to secure funding for this scheme that he's got in mind. And as he continues on in this journey, these various trips that they make, there are different attempts made on his life. And his daughter's there witnessing these different things that happen. And something that really makes this uniquely funny to me is, like I said, there's a bit of violence in here because there's these different attempts that are made on his life, but it's so darkly comedic that you don't really feel any imminent sense of danger throughout most of the course of the story. Obviously, well, what if he's going to die at the end? But leading up to the end, well, he's probably going to live to the very end. So these attempts on his life are funny. He's so used to people trying to kill him. It's just another day to him. So it's that typical Anderson deadpan humor. He's got this daughter, but he's also got, I think, 9 other children, and they're all little boys. And there's these funny moments involving the little sons as well. He's trying to have a conversation with his daughter in this big room, and his sons, all the rest of his sons are up in this balcony. And there's this one that keeps playing with his crossbow. And the way they carry on this conversation, even though there's an arrow flying by here and there, I don't know. It was funny. It was funny to me. And I don't know if it's just the fact that Benicio del Toro was involved that just made me instantly like this. Like, I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much if the actors that were in here weren't the same actors. Michael Cera is in here as well, and Mia Threapleton. I think that's how you say her last name. She is Kate Winslet's daughter. I didn't realize that till after the movie was over. I thought she was really good in here. I thought everybody was really good in here. Benedict Cumberbatch is in here as well. Oh my gosh, the makeup job they did on him with the beard. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's like that was comedic in itself. So it's just got this crazy stuff that happens, this big ensemble cast. There was also Jeffrey Wright, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some other people that were in here. So it just very much a Wes Anderson movie, like I've already said, very much his style, quirky, stylized, witty, dark humor, comedic, and deadpan delivery in the face of uncertain events that are going on around you, just very stoically deadpan expressions on their faces. Oh my goodness. Some other things about this film that stood out to me. It has an unusual aspect. Well, not unusual. What I mean is it doesn't have the standard 16:9 aspect ratio. It's more like 4:5. And I thought maybe that was just going to be the intro, but no, I think the entire movie was like that. So that was different. Maybe because this is supposed to be something that looks like it takes place, I don't know, 50s, maybe. So perhaps it was trying to mimic that style of how things were filmed back then. There are also interesting ways that shots were framed. I am not sure if this is a Wes Anderson thing. I have a feeling that it is. It's been a while since I've seen one of his other movies, but there are a lot of perfectly centered, almost completely symmetrical shots in here. So that's definitely a thing. He doesn't seem to follow that sort of standard rule of thirds when he does his filming. So it definitely separates itself from a lot of other films that we see being made. There's a scene at the beginning, and I think there's another scene at some point that takes place in the same room, where there is an overhead shot. This is something else I'm referring to when I talk about the interesting way things are filmed. And it's kind of visually satisfying, even though it's not your normal type of visual framing that you see. There's a shot at the beginning. It takes place in his bathroom. He's in the tub. It's an overhead shot. And so you're seeing all these people come in and out of the room tending to him as he's recovering from his injuries and everything. And he's in the bathtub and he's like reading a paper, and you see all this stuff overhead. And at one point you see someone bring a wine bottle to him. And then when they walk away with the wine bottle, they put it in a bidet. It looks like a bidet. Bidets kind of look like toilets. So it wasn't a toilet. I could tell it wasn't a toilet. But they had a bunch of ice in this bidet and they just put it in. I don't know. For some reason, that was just really funny to me. There was a lot of stupid stuff in here that was really funny to me. Michael Cera's performance especially, I got a kick out of. Benicio, yes, and then Michael Cera is probably right on up there with it being an enjoyable experience to watch his performance in here. And of course, Mia, she was good too. She's a very, very serious character, and she and her father would go head to head on different things, but it never played out in a fiery, emotional sort of way like you would see in most other stories, but this very controlled manner in which people's emotions are completely kept in check with this very serious deadpan delivery. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I think I get what the scheme was all about, but honestly, for me, it was so entertaining. I didn't mind if there were parts in here that were a little confusing. I really don't think it was. If I understand correctly what his big idea was, I don't think I was confused, but if I'm wrong about anything that I put together, it doesn't matter because the movie was so enjoyable. It's a non-issue if you don't fully understand all details of the plot. A rewatch would probably clear up a lot of stuff. And speaking of rewatches, this is definitely a movie that I could see myself watching again. Not sure if I'd add it to my physical collection. Maybe if there were a audio commentary, I probably would. Just because I would find it fascinating to listen to behind the scenes information about how this movie was put together. But I certainly could see myself adding this to my digital collection, and I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to share it with you guys. I don't think this is going to be something that'll be on the big screen huge amount of time. It's not going to be anything like Sinners. It's going to have legs because it's a very distinctive style that might not be for everybody. However, the night that I went to see this, which as of the recording of this, gosh, what day is it, y'all? It's the 10th. I went the previous Saturday, so the 7th of June, and the theater was almost full, and there was a lot of laughter, and an experience like that always makes something more enjoyable. So yeah, good memories associated with watching this film. No anger, no ranting necessary, but I did want to bring it to your attention in case you guys were interested, especially if you like Benicio del Toro, if you like Wes Anderson. Yeah, check it out and let me know what you think. As of now, I don't really have anything else to say about the Phoenician Scheme. I'm going to go ahead and draw this into a close, y'all. Bye.